Hi guys, Kelton Weigelt here. Just going to do a quick developer commentary on the game I made called Gunk. It was a 5-week student project. We had 2 developers and 4 artists at the start, then 3 artists. One of the artists left due to the other artist's lack of commitment, but we had 3 artists. It's a 2D platformer. Me and my friend pitched it with the idea of making a simple game. Simple enough that we were able to basically have it done by around week 3 and then do a lot of testing and iterations. Things for this project didn't really go according to plan, at least on the time schedule, because the artists for the first 2 weeks had committed to do the game in 3D, but after they saw how bad it looked, basically they decided to throw everything away that they did and switch to 2D. And we actually started getting art assets end of week 4, 1 week before the project had to be done. So it was kind of just a big mess, and the scope had to get smaller and smaller, and I ended up not even being able to design or make levels, but had to help the artists to implement their assets and test their assets for them because they couldn't do it themselves. Yeah. So we have 1 level, not even showing all the mechanics, and one of the main things I really wanted to have here was the story, but didn't even have time to do that, sadly. Right. So my role, basically, I was lead programmer. I programmed how the 2D controller, how the player moves, jumps. I did how he grapples, and I did that he can walk on walls. My friend, the other developer, did the bouncing off, that he could go into the shell mode to bounce off walls. This is my second time taking this video, because first time I forgot to have my microphone on. So, yeah, there are a lot of cool things we used in this one. For example, we use the Unity 2D lighting, which is in beta and you can only use with the HD or the lightweight render pipeline. We used, like you can see examples, so the dark stuff on the outside is the dark light, and you can see those lights are lit as well with the Unity 2D lights. I used a variety of different plugins. I used the Rewired plugin for taking the Xbox controller input, because it supports all different types of controllers, and I wanted to have rumble. And we began with the Corgi engine, but ended up having to basically rewrite everything because it didn't work with the walking on walls part. It was quite kind of incompatible with that. Okay, so I'll jump into the game. You can see, right, we had a lot more planned based off the main menu that is not in the game. We were planning on working after the project deadline on this game, but due to lack of commitment from basically everyone except for me, basically decided to give up on that. So the only level we have is the level basically I designed, tested, and implemented the art assets in. Yeah, let's do a playthrough it. So this is supposed to be the first level in the game.
I am a baby snail.
I did those voice lines with voice modifier. You can see there's I can go into my shell, and then I kind of become like a green shell. Kind of like the green shell in Mario, where I bounce off the walls. So I'm not touching anything, I automatically bounce off the walls. And I can lightly control myself. I actually did all the sounds for this too, so I did that the sound loops and that it changes pitch and stuff. And you can see the quality of the animations. That one's a bug. The quality of the animation is really inconsistent. Nothing I can do about that. I mean, I'm not an artist, I'm only a developer. So we can see that the difference between our character and the enemy's characters, the differences the thickness of the lines. There's loads of issues everywhere, but...
Hey, you! Check me out! I'm a baby snail. I'm literally a baby snail.
And so, people really like the baby snail for some reason, so I decided to add more of them. This change from light to dark was inspired by Hollow Knight. It's quite simple. I just turn off one Unity big light and turn on the other one. These are the sticky walls. This is one of the USPs of our game, where you can kind of walk around and stick to any of these objects. Getting the jump to work correctly from these was kind of weird, because normally in the games, right, you just have to jump where I just add a Y force to the character. But that doesn't work, so we have to add force relative to the plane we're on. But that, we tested a lot of variations before we came to the final one, because if I was on a wall, here I'll just show you for sake of example, kind of like almost basically straight vertical. It's not the best example, but people kind of expected to wall jump. So we had it originally that you could, like, based off of the angle of the slope, if you were between this and this, you'd wall jump. If you were vertical, you'd do a different jump. And we tested a lot of variations, but in the end, we went for what you see now, which is basically no wall jump. And you can have quite a lot of fun with these sections, I believe. We didn't really get to push anything that far, again, because this is the first level, and not supposed to be that hard.
In your shell, you don't take damage from salt.
Right, so when you're in a shell, this is the idea we came up with to force you to be into the shell. So instead of just being able to walk through it, right, you have to be in the shell. And then when I'm in the shell, I bounce off things, right, so I don't stick to the wall. So the trick is you have to jump and leave the shell, right, at the last second. And so we wanted to basically have a lot of kind of speed sections in our game, a little bit like Sonic. And so this is one of those. There, we have to leave the shell again. Here's the same thing, slightly harder. And the controls are intentionally a little bit clunky on the shell because it's supposed to be, you know, kind of a little bit goofy, kind of hard to control. And this is kind of a mean jump I made. Oh, I made it. Oh. So you can see the fire animation is, yeah, not very good. Nothing I can do about that. Other than complain. And so this section was originally made without fire. It was going to be mainly kind of like just stay in the shell type section, but decided to add the fire to make it a little more challenging because it was the only level we have with the art assets. And so I didn't want people to be able to rush through it, of course. So still overall quite an easy level. For me, at least, for sure. We playtested it as well, of course, with a lot of people that don't play a lot of video games, and they were fine with it. A lot of people actually died quite a lot, so it's around the right difficulty, I think. Some people beat it without dying once, but the noobs died a good amount. Now we come to the end of the level. This is not again, the artists weren't able to implement their assets. So I had to do it. Oh, sorry, I was leaving in and out of the light, so the light gets a bit glitched there. So this was supposed to be the finale of the level 1, where players basically encouraged to kind of just chill. See, the art is not done for this section, and then I wanted to have like a pinball type section, where you basically are a pinball, and just kind of bounce around.
Who dares
And then,
awaken
yeah, you were supposed to meet the
my
Elder Snail, and we
slumber?
wanted to have a cutscene and a bunch of other stuff,
I am
but
the Elder Snail.
due to time limitations, none of that got into the game.
Listen, my child.
I had a lot of fun doing this voice line.
I will tell you my greatest secret, for I will soon explode.
And then there was going to be a flashback to where you play as a snail in France, and on the streets of Paris, France, and he would have basically your snail, but he would have a mustache. But anyway, overall, you know, I'm not that happy with the project, mainly because I had to make so many compromises due to the art not being done, and had to help, you know, trying to just get the best product we could, even though, like, you know, stuff wasn't there. But I'm quite happy with the physics, and I'm quite happy with, you know, the controls feel crispy. You can walking on walls feels crispy. The controls are nice. So in terms of the things I programmed and was responsible for, I met all my expectations. Yeah. So overall, I'm happy with what I did. But the overall project, yeah. So thanks for watching.